Sir, sok na sok yan. Teka, una na ba tayo? Hindi pa naman.
Standby po 2 minutes.
Standby? Sige. Sir, 2 minutes po. 2 minutes, we go in.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, kwentuhan lang, as usual.
Sige, okay yun. Parang yung ating inuman dati dyan, di ba? Naimbitahan mo ako dyan sa... Kailangan mo ulit po.
Huwag natin sabihin inuman, bawal yun eh.
Hindi,
Kwentuhan lang.
Kumakain
chips to.
Atin lang yun, sir. Baka ma-trouble tayo dun. Kagabi nga, nagingit-ngit si Digong na mga nagiinuman. Tapos,
Ed, sino kasama natin dito pala?
Si Robby Alampay. Yung kanina kausap mo, si Robby.
Okay.
Tsaka si Ami Pamintuan ng editor-in-chief ng Philippine
Wala
Star.
po si Ma'am Ali ngayon.
Okay lang rin si Ami.
Wala po si Ma'am Ali ngayon, sir.
Aaron, ikaw mag-countdown?
Ako po. Chat ko na lang po sa
chat.
Ed,
Sa chat.
Ano lang ako?
Yes,
Out
sir.
na ako 1 o'clock.
Sir, 1 o'clock? Okay naman 12:30 pa lang naman
Naghahanapin ng content kasi meron kong next na appointment.
Yes, sir. 1:30 pa lang naman
Yes.
So, reminder lang, 1 o'clock. Okay, yes, sir. Kaya naman ang una
na po connect ni Sir Robby. Pa-landscape na lang po. Yan. So, okay.
Better na yan?
Opo, better po. Standby na po tayo.
Okay na ako?
Okay, standby.
Opo, okay na po, Sir Robby.
Better? Paul, Aaron. Hello?
Opo, Sir Robby, okay na po.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Sir Robby, okay na po.
Wala ako nakikitang script ha. Wala ako nakikitang script. Let lead and intro and everything. Wala ako nakikitang script.
Sige po.
Kasi naka-mobile ako eh.
Ganun talaga, hindi.
One minute. Thirty seconds.
Okay lang ulit.
In his nationwide address last night, the president threatened to have the military and the police take over the enforcement of the COVID-19 quarantine, as people have started going outdoors in violation of the Luzon-wide lockdown. Now, many local governments, meanwhile, continue to augment their quarantine measures, including mass testing. But how much assistance has the private sector also contributed during this pandemic? We discuss these issues in this episode of The Chiefs. And welcome to this edition of The Chiefs. And with us today are Robby Alampay of One News. And I'm not sure if Ami's online. I don't think Ami's online. Robby, kamusta kayo dyan?
Okay naman. Pareho pa rin. Kung ano yung nangyari kahapon.
Hindi pa rin lumalabas sa bahay. Sige,
Lilinawin ko lang sa mga guest natin na ako sumusunod.
Okay. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka lumalabas.
Dahil lumalabas din kahapon, namalengke kami kahapon. Essentials lang. And within our barangay.
Kasi mag-ingat ka sa sinasabi mo dahil ang kasama natin ngayon, nakikinig na ngayon, nasa screen natin ngayon, yung nag-enforce ng quarantine.
Kailangan linawin.
Baka mamaya, ano ka yan. Baka hindi ko nakikita.
Baka akala ko sumusunod ako, yung pala hindi. I mean, ito yung mga bagay na kailangan malaman ng mga tao. I think let's proceed on the assumption that good faith naman lahat ng tao.
Oho.
Kailangan
Pero
na natin linawin.
maraming kailangan linawin eh kasi for example, the other day kausap namin si NCRPO Chief Dibulcinas, sabi niya with the new instructions from the President and the IATF, yung mga gray areas medyo nalilito sila. Anyway, ang guest natin ngayon walang iba kundi si Lieutenant General Guillermo Elezar. Siya po yung PNP Deputy Chief for Operations at siya rin po yung Task Force Coronavirus Shield Commander. General Elezar, thank you for joining us.
Yes, magandang tanghali sa inyo, Ed, Robbie, ganun din sa lahat ng mga nanonood at nakikinig sa inyong programa.
General, sakaling hindi niyo po alam, birthday ka po ni Robbie.
Hoy, happy birthday, Robbie.
Talagang ayaw pala pasin. Lumipas na pa. Maraming salamat po, General.
Hanggang next week yan, Bok.
Basta hindi umabot sa lifting ng ECQ, okay lang ako batiin ng araw-araw.
Sabi na nga eh. General, well, I'm sure, of course, you were watching last night the President and mukhang, again, nagingit yung Pangulo at nailabas yung kanyang mga saloobin tukod dun sa nangyayari dun sa yung pagsunod ng mga tao doon sa quarantine measures. In fact, nabanggit pa niya martial law type, parang martial na rin. And he also mentioned the possibility of bringing the AFP to take control. Ano po yung ibig sabihin ng lahat ng sinabi ng Pangulo? Exactly what does this mean? Anong konteksto?
Oo, Ed and Robbie, we can only understand yung frustration ng ating Pangulo dahil alam mo, nakaisang buwan na tayo. This is the 31st o 32nd day mula na mag-start tayo ng ating ECQ, and yet yung nakita kasi natin ng mga pasaway, lalo na itong nahuli, alam mo kahapon sa Laguna may nahuli na nagsasabong at nung tanungin nagsabong galing sa mga 4Ps, di ba, itong mga financial assistance, kaya talagang kailangan mas higpitan natin ito, and the President as well as his crisis managers, mas alam nila kung ano makabuti sa ating bansa. That's why kung if ever na mag-decide sila kung anong mas magandang approach ang gagawin, ay nakahanda po ang ating PNP sa panguna ng aming hepe na si Police General Archie Gamboa, and also the other agencies involved in this joint task force sa COVID Shield para po sa mas matinding pag-i-implement ng ating mga regulasyon. But recently, dahil dun sa mga modification and strict implementation, nakakuha naman tayo siguro ng magandang cooperation, but we have to continue being strict on this enforcement para the objective na kailangan natin, makuha natin at hindi masayang lahat ng pinaghirapan natin doon sa nakaraang buwan na ito.
General, just so you guys also know, yung nangyari sa Davao, I think yung epicenter ng Davao infection ay yung Sabungan, doon nagsimula yung infection tapos kumalat.
O kaya nga alam mo, yung mass gathering talagang bawal lahat yan. Sa atin kasi nakita natin na karamihan naman ay sumusunod, pero merong mga ilan-ilan na yun na napapansin natin. Itong pagkatapos ng Holy Week, di ba syempre hanggang Biyernes Santo nasa mga bahay ang mga yan, pero dahil na-distribute na itong mga financial aid or assistance doon sa ating SAP, at saka pati kailangan lumabas, pumunta ng bangko para pumila, for all you know, ito naman ay authorized lumabas para mag-avail ng mga basic needs or mamili. Kaya lang, yung social distancing, yun ang hindi na-observe. Nag-viral itong mga photos and video at nagsigayahan yung iba. Kaya nga nitong Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, napansin natin dumami ang sakyan. Pero nag-adjust tayo doon. Pinahigpit natin itong mga inspection sa mga ating quarantine control points. Kaya nga, kung may nakita kayong pila dyan, tama yan. Ibig sabihin, nagtatrabaho yung i-inspect doon, di ba? Talagang i-inspect sila. At asahan naman natin, pagkalapas naman ng checkpoint naman, mabilis na itong daloy ng trapiko. One of the other observation, the most prone to abuse na A4 or yung authorized person outside residence provision is yung we are allowing one member from each household para lumabas to avail of the essential need. So ito ngayon ang medyo naabuso. Kaya nga dapat natin iklaro na you can only avail those services in general within your locality. Ibig sabihin nun, hindi pwedeng mamalengke ka o pupunta ka sa butika, doon pa sa kabilang bayan. Kaya nga itong mga checkpoint natin, usually ang mga QCPs natin, gusto ko linawin ha, we have two kinds of checkpoints, the DCP or dedicated control points. Kakunti lang ito, 112 na ito nationwide, manned by the Highway Patrol Group na strategically located sa mga boundaries ng mga provinces and regions. Doon lang nag-check sa cargo vehicle. The 4,000 other checkpoints or tinatawag natin QCP or quarantine control points manned by the local police, ang sinecheck lang nila non-cargo vehicle. Hindi sila mag-check ng cargo vehicle to ensure or to facilitate the unimpeded and unhampered movement of cargo natin. Ngayon sa mga QCP, usually nasa boundary ng mga bayan-bayan yan or here sa atin mga syudad. So, ang ginagawa nila is that pag ng cargo vehicle, they have to check whether the occupants of the vehicle are A4. Kung sila ay U4 or unauthorized person outside the residence, they will not be allowed to yes, at ang ginagawa nga natin ngayon, tinitikita na. So, yung sinasabi natin, if you, ang reason mo as an A4 is to avail of the essential need, hindi ka na kailangan lumipad pa sa kabilang bayan. You should avail that within your locality at hindi ka dapat magkocross. Yun ang ating dapat nililiwanag sa ating mga kababayan.
Okay. General, let's isa-isahin po natin kasi iba-ibang levels yung nabanggit natin na mga kailangan i-address at points din ng frustration ng ating pamahalaan. On the first level, there is where you have to contend with officials and leaders. Yung mga nagpapasabong, yung mga sila mismo nag-organize ng public event. May nakita pa tayo, nagpa-boxing daw. I mean, papaubaya natin sa DILG yun, no? Siguradong makakaabot sa Malacanang, makakaabot sa DILG. Yun na yung But on the other level, gaya po ng napupuntiryan nyo ngayon, there is the level naman of the citizens who want to comply, but at the same time, maybe nalilito sa ibang rules and so on. So magkaiba po yun. Doon po tayo mag-umpisa sa citizens kasi ito po yung mga tinatanong ng mga tao. So tama po ba pagkakaintindi ko sa sinasabi nyo na actually pwede pa rin lumabas, alam nyo naman pwede nyo dalhin yung quarantine card nyo, pero stay within your locality muna. That's the safe assumption first.
Yes, una po yun. Kasi nga marami tayong list ng A4. At yung sinasabi nga natin na siguro laging pinag-uusapan is one representative or member from each household na pwede mag-avail ng mga essential needs. Pupunta sa palengke, pupunta sa drugstore, pupunta sa clinic. So isa lang po yun. Kaya nga natutuwa tayo at yung ibang LGUs po, nag-issue sila ng quarantine pass. Isa lang sa bawat household, whether tatlo ang pangalan doon, pero isa lang magdadala sa kanila. So may control siya. So, i-avail mo lang siya doon sa locality mo as much as possible sa barangay mo lang. Pero siyempre, pwede rin siguro but within the city. Pero hindi yung magkocross ka pa doon sa ibang mga lugar. But of course, gusto ko lang idagdag na aside from this, isipin mo, lahat ng isang membro ng household, maglabasan sabay-sabay ang mga yan, mamalengke. Naku, yari tayo na, di ba? Yun ang nangyari itong Monday, Tuesday. Kasi long weekend, nagkaroon ng pera, naglabasan. While they are A4, essentially or basically, pero they have to serve social distancing. Merong ibang ginagawang LGU na para bang, well, depende doon sa last name mo. Kung halimbawa you belong to A to L siguro, itong araw ka lalabas. Pwedeng gawin or zoning ng ating community. And pwede naman na may iba pang way na kung paanong magagawa ng paraan na hindi magsabay-sabay sila. Huwag naman yung paikliin yung oras. Alam mo yung ginawa ng iba, para bang instead na 12 hours, ginawa 4 hours lang, di lalo rin na kumpul-kumpul yung mga yan. So my way of doing that, and I believe that the effort being done by the LGUs is tutugma ngayon para magkaroon tayo ng further restriction dun sa tinatawag naman provision na one representative or member from each household going out to avail of the essential needs.
General, medyo klaro naman yun eh. You try to stay within your boundaries and sabi nga ni Camsec Nograles kahapon, wag naman kayo masyadong choosy kung gusto lang yung tumuwid ng boundary para lang pumunta sa ibang department store o ibang supermarket. Now, but having said that, there are some other medyo gray areas na that was also pointed out by General Sinas na medyo nalilito sila paminsan-minsan. For example, siyempre alam natin mga doktor at mga nurse, mga health workers, sila po yung essential personnel at dapat nakakalusot yan sa checkpoint. Pero not all doctors or nurses or essential personnel know how to drive at minsan nagpapahatid sila sa ospital. For example, may edad yung doktor o kaya hindi talaga marunong magmaneho, nagpapahatid siya. Ang problema daw sabi ni General Sinas, for example, yung driver hindi naman siya authorized lumabas pero nagmamaneho siya para doon sa doktor. Ang problema raw ng police, hindi naman nila pwedeng pababain yung doktor dahil hindi autorisado yung driver. So, dati raw pinapalusot nila pero ngayon hindi nila alam ang gagawin nila kung titikitan ba nila o palulusutin. So, may mga ganong gray areas na medyo kailangan ng konti paglilinaw daw.
Opo. Ganito po kasi yon. Now, we clarified that on one of the meetings before. And dun sa A4 list natin, yung doktor ay, well, kasi hindi naman pwedeng lahat. Kasi basically kasi kung lahat na lang ng mga frontliners natin is pwedeng magpa-drive, parang dinoble mo yan, 10 times 2 mo, yung i-allow natin. So, yung doktor, sa napag-usapan, parang inalaw na may driver siya. But yung iba pong health workers, hindi na po sila nag-discriminate. Pero yun po yung parang tinignan natin yung kukunti at saka yung doktorado. Ang in-encourage or in-enjoy ngayon, not just the LGU, but also ito pong hospital sa mag-provide ng malapit na accommodation or shuttle service for them. In fact, yung pong DOTR natin, as well as some LGUs, nag-provide talaga sila ng shuttle or sasakyan para po dun sa mga health workers natin kasi talagang hindi pa pwede na magpa-drive siya. Yun po yung naging usapan. You know, the Joint Task Force COVID Shield is just implementing the guidelines coming from the ITF at napakaingat po kami nun. Yung pong kino-convert natin na A4 list coming from the guidelines that is being updated by the ITF, yun po yung nag-adjust tayo. And when we do that, we have in our Joint Task Force the presence of senior members of the departments concerned para po talagang nanggagaling sa IATF itong aming inilalabas na mga list of A4s.
General,
so,
sa mga naintindihan natin yung frustration, at alam po natin napakahirap ng trabaho at napaka-abnormal talaga ng sitwasyon hanggang ngayon. But when the President starts expressing his frustration and says na kung magtutuloy tayong ganito, gawin na talaga nating mag-level up pa tayo sa emergency powers, 'di ba? Talagang ipapaubaya ako na sa militar at saka sa mga pulis ito. But the question being, we are already under emergency situation. We already have emergency laws. Sa perspektibo niyo po, may kulang pa po ba sa kapangyarihan at sa mandato ng ating mga kapulisan, for that matter militar, for that matter DILG, na nabibitin pa kayo, or do we actually have enough authority and mandate to still deal with this situation?
Well, sa ngayon po kasi we work on what we have in the present situation, and sa ngayon po naman through the leadership of our Chief PNP, meron po kaming available na on this Joint Task Force COVID Shield, 65,000 personnel po yung nakadeploy natin nationwide. And meron pa tayong augmentation coming from the other 3 agencies, the AFP, Coast Guard, and the Bureau of Fire Protection, additional 12,000. So all in all, we have 75,000. Plus may reserve force pa tayo na 47,000 na pwede natin gamitin. Itong reserve force, nandiyan po yan. Pero kung kinakailangan, and we need that all our resources will be utilized, is gagamitin natin po siya. So, well, of course, the President, mas alam po niya kung ano mas maganda. At kung sa tingin niya na the full force of the full resources of the different concerned security sectors will be utilized, pwede naman po yan. Pero kagaya ng binanggit po namin, hinayaan po natin ang ating presidente at ang crisis managers na mag-decide kung ano dapat gawin, and we can always adapt and adjust depende sa given situation.
Pero General, to Roby's point po, do you think you have enough laws on your side? Do you think you have enough authority and power and personnel, or would you, in your opinion, need more power?
Sa ngayon po, kagaya ng banggit ko nga, itong present situation, we can always maximize what we have in our arsenal. Lamang, ang wisdom ng ating pamunuan, siyempre hindi man pwedeng isabak lahat yan. Dapat may reserve force tayo at saka pati talagang inaalagaan natin dahil hindi natin alam kung hanggang kailan itong laban natin ito. And I presume na pag mas gustong i-level up pa ng ating presidente ito, hindi lamang siguro resources lang ng PNP ang gagamitin, kung hindi yung iba na. So, in our case, sa amin po, bilang bahagi ng Philippine National Police, we will just make the necessary adjustment kung sakali man po na magkaroon ng pagbabago ang magiging setup. But just like nabanggit ko po kanina, kami naman po ay laging naandito at kung ano ang available on hand, yun po ay ninutilize natin para mas maging effective tayo sa ating trabaho.
General, para lang po to give all of us a better idea also of what you're dealing with. Alam niyo, naipabalita na rin po, halos 120,000 na raw yung quarantine violators nationwide. That's a big number, but at the same time, baka pwede niyo po kami bigyan ng detalye. Anong natures ba to ng quarantine violators? Everything from, I don't know, violating curfews or tumatawid ng hindi sila dapat tumawid. Ano po bang nature ng karamihan ng mga quarantine violations natin?
Yes, kalimitan po dyan ay curfew at saka pati yung mga disobedience, sinisita and then mga pumapalag. Kaya nga, ito po yung basically, dapat nasa bahay. Kasi nga, sa atin naman po, curfew wala, dapat 24 hours tayo nasa bahay. Kaya nga lamang, pag meron kasing curfew, pwedeng hulihin ka kaagad. Unlike kung walang curfew, pwedeng i-caution ka. So, ito po yung initiative din, napakaganda ng ating mga LGU. So, kaya nga po dito sa sinasabi nating 122 as of yesterday, 122,000, 72% po dito or 88,000, ito po naman ay hindi natin talaga inaresto. Of course, all of them were brought to the station for booking, pero yung iba dyan, yung pinakita natin, sinesermonan, nilelekturan, and then yung minsan is parang naglalakad pa sila. So ito po yung iba-ibang inisyatibong ginagawa ng ating mga pulis. So 72%, only 4% or around 5,000, ito po yung nagbigay ng multa kasi provided dun sa kanilang ordinansa na magmulta. Yung hindi makapagmulta, ito ngayon po yung ating pinapailan ng kaso. There are 29,000 or 24% nitong ating accosted na atin pong naaresto. And 23,000 of them filed natin regular filing, pero 6,000 ito pong ating na-inquest. Most of them through online na inquest. Alam mo, naging skeletal force yung itong ating fiscal as well as the korte. Pero naglabas sila ng online inquest para pwede pa rin tayo makapag-file ng kaso. At ito nga, because of that, nakapag-file tayo ng kaso. Meron tayong online inquest pero walang online detention. Kaya as of yesterday or last night, there are still some 3,000 arrested violators na naandun pa sa kulungan. Kung hindi makapag-fine sila, talaga magstay sila doon. Kung hindi makapag-piyansa, they will stay there. So, if it will be a warning or in a way, parang panakot sa ating mga pasaway na kabayan, ganyan po ang inyong pupuntahan kung sakaling magpatuloy kayo ng inyong ginagawa at mahuli kayo. Napakahirap, magsisisi kayo. Kaya ngayon pa lang, sinasabi ko po sa inyo, makipag-cooperate na kayo. Anyway, all of us are expected na sumunod at makipag-cooperate sa ating ECQ.
But
Sir,
that's a huge number din.
Yung linawin ko lang mabilis, yung mga 3,000 na banggit nyo, I'm thinking hopefully spread out naman to sa maraming barangay, no? Hindi naman yan nakakonsentrate. But just talking about, paano po yung protocols within the facilities also kung saan man sila nade-detain? Nasusunod naman po ang social distancing doon? Or are we potentially creating also problematic areas every time we detain somebody?
Well, before the ECQ, problematic na rin talaga yan. Alam lang po natin lahat yan, di po ba? Kasi our campaigns against illegal drugs. Pero hindi naman pwedeng because of that, hindi tayo magsasagawa ng operation. Kaya nga, bulk of them or, 76% is hindi natin nga hinuhuli na o kinukulong. Pero just the same, mga matigas ang ulo, talagang tututuhanin natin. While it is true that some of the LGUs are providing other detention facilities outside of the police stations, like doon pong sa mga ibang facilities nila or building, gymnasium. So pwede po na ginagawa yon, but depende po sa LGU. Kaya nga ang ating bilin din sa ating mga police, you coordinate with your LGUs or local chief executives para po sa mga provisions na ito. Pero ang gusto ko pong linawin sa ating mga kabayan, hindi po kami magiging malambot dito kasi kailangan namin ang kooperasyon nyo. Lalo na po ngayon, di ba? Along the the main thoroughfares of Metro Manila. As per directive of our Chief PNP, the Highway Patrol Group, led by Police Brigadier General Eli Cruz, talaga pong nagsagawa ng mobile checkpoints. At yung Oplan Habol, kasi nga, mostly, ang violated, itong mga private vehicles na may laman na more than one. Of course, pwede naman kasi na A4 din yung laman na iba na yan. Pero kung merong more than one, hinahabol at chinecheck. And true to it, kahapon lang, some 6 hours, 71 yung nahuli. And then tuloy-tuloy na ginagawa natin, ito hindi lamang dito probably in Metro Manila, but pati sa ibang lugar, so that malaman ng ating mga kababayan na seryoso tayo dito. In fact, I gave instruction to General Cruz na pag-aralan din kung paanong hindi lang matitikitan itong driver ng vehicle na U4 or with kasama doon occupant na U4 unauthorized person. Baka pwedeng i-impound na natin itong sakyan ito. So pinag-aaralan nila yan. Of course, there are some violations with the other existing laws na pwede maging basis doon, pero for ACQ ay titingnan din natin.
So, General, so nung Monday and Tuesday, napansin nga ninyo yung pagdami bigla ng mga sasakyan. Baka nung Sunday pa lang, napansin yung pagdami ng mga sasakyan. Now since the government decided to crack down on yung mga lumalabag sa quarantine, I think by Wednesday, in the last 3 days, have you noticed any trend going downward dun sa violations ng ECQ, dun sa violations ng mga protocols?
Yes, yung ECQ kasi mga curfew usually, halos pare-pareho naman siya. But itong nakita natin, just for observation, yung dami ng sakyan, nag-improve naman siya. Of course, pag tumingin ka sa mga checkpoints, sigurado mahaba ang pila kasi nga, nag-i-inspect. Even if you are A4 and you are inside your vehicle, expect that you will be checked dahil part ng protocol yun. Una, titingnan muna natin kung talagang A4 ba siya. Alam mo, may ibang mga vehicle, naglalagay ng paskil lang nakalagay doon, do not delay, tapos nakalagay doon, may dalang mga relief goods, pero iba, madaling gawin yun. May mga ID pa na yun. Kaya we really have to check them. Kaya nga po, ang aming pakiusap naman, ay talaga po may pila. Even though, ang ating bilin sa lahat ng mga checkpoints, mag-alat ng isang fast lane para po sa cargo. Ang cargo, for the 4,000 PCPs, hindi kayo ipa-plug down dyan. Kaya lang minsan, natatraffic din kayo kasi talagang pila. At kahit naman sa ibang bansa, and even sa mga napapanood nating mga sine dati, di ba? Pag may mga checkpoint na ganyan, talaga may pila. Pero naman, paglampas nyo, ghost town naman tayo, kaya't mabilis din yun. So, expect traffic, expect congestion. Normal yun dahil chinecheck natin pati na rin yung kanyang social distancing kung ino-observe, as well as also chinecheck din natin, supposed to be, pati temperature nga, even A4, kahit pa ikaw ay supposed to be health workers, dapat pagdaan doon, i-check pa rin temperature mo. At pag mataas ang temperature mo, merong ibang protocol na isi-separate ka para po doon sa appropriate action na dapat gawin.
General, we've been talking so far about people riding cars. What about people just around the neighborhood? Labas tayo sa EDSA, doon sa mga loob-looban, doon sa Maynila, doon tayo sa Malabon, Valenzuela, Quezon City portion. So, kamusta yung crowd control? Maybe crowd control is the wrong phrase to use. Pero you know what I mean? Let's not just look at the vehicles, but let's also look at people converging or going out of the houses without authority.
Opo, through the guidance of our SILG, General Anyo, naglabas na direktiba po ang ating Chief PNP na lahat po ng mga places of convergence na mga lugar kung saan nagkatipon-tipon, gawa na aksyon ng ating police. So ito po ay responsibility ng individual chief sa police ng any police station sa buong Pilipinas na ma-check po yan. At meron kanya-kanyang initiative like, for example, sa mga public markets. Ang police hindi lang sa gate nagbabantay para malimit itong pagpapasok. In fact, may mga naglagay pa nga po sila ng silya na pila Kasi pag nakatayo, dikit-dikit. Pero pag may upuan na magkakalayo, na-maintain yung social distancing. At sa loob, meron tayong police or force multiplier na meron pang dalang megaphone para i-announce yan. So it is being done on other establishment and we are not micromanaging our personnel pero nakikita po nila kung paano po i-apply yan. And we need the help of our force multipliers. Ang atin naman po mga LGUs through their barangay tanods, mga punong barangay, ay tumutulong po dito. Minsan nga, dahil sa sobrang overprotective nila, minsan mas mahigpit pa sa AITF guidelines. Kaya nga po, nire-remind sila at naayos naman po na dapat hindi naman po yun unaligned with the IITF guidelines dahil kung gano'n na, kung masyado mahigpit, baka naman ma-restrict naman natin yung movement ng mga cargo bringing in goods or other raw materials for essential goods na kailangan natin dahil ayaw natin na magkaroon ng food shortage which could lead to social unrest na ayaw natin mangyayari sa mga panahong ito. In fact, alam niyo po, minomonitor natin every day itong ating crime volume, and for the past 31 days, to magsimula po tayo itong March 17 until yesterday. Kung ikukumpara natin doon sa the last 31 days before that, sa buong Pilipinas po, bumaba ng 58% ang ating index crime. Every day, tumataas yung pagbaba. Sa Luzon, 64%, sa Visayas, 53%, and 48% naman sa buong Mindanao. Logical. Bumaba siya. Walang economic activity, ang mga tao nasa bahay, pero we should maintain that. We should prevent that.
General, buti po nabanggit niyan because that was precisely going to be my question. Paguluhin pa natin lalo yung lahat ng tinatrabaho ng ating kapulisan. You're not just, as you stressed, not just having to take care of checkpoints and making sure people are complying. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang trabaho natin sa peace and order. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang trabaho sa crime. But talk about precisely how kung bumababa yung crime incidents sa atin, ano yung relationship ng mobility ng mga tao at yung mga lumulusot at how easy or how hard it is na magpalusot at gumawa lang ng paraan, yung implikasyon nun sa criminal activities?
Well, the fact that ang kumbaga suspended economic activity natin kasi yung krimen is directly proportion dyan, pati na rin sa population. Yung population natin nasa loob naman po di ba? Kaya mababa pa rin siya. Kaya nga lang, we are not sure whether itong mga nakikita natin sa labas ay talagang authorized person. Kaya nga po tayo sa ating mga checkpoints. Kasi checkpoint, talagang dyan sila dadaan We have 4,000 QCPs all over the Philippines checking non-cargo vehicle and pedestrian. So kung malilimit natin talaga na only those authorized persons will be traveling na nasa labas, talagang mas lalo malilimit natin itong krimen. And tuloy po yung ating effort naman. And kagaya sinasabi nga natin, we need the cooperation ng ating lahat, the LGUs, as well as basically po, alam mo yung ating kabayan kung sila lang isusunod. At iisipin nila na itong sakripisyo natin for the past month, para hindi masayang is for the remaining less than 2 weeks, makipag-cooperate sila, ito po ang magbubunsod sa atin para po, in a way, magtagumpay tayo at makabit natin itong objective ng ating ginagawa.
Okay, Task Force Coronavirus Shield Chief Lieutenant General Guillermo Elazar, maraming salamat po for joining us today and we hope to see you again in person naman.
Opo, maraming salamat po. Ang ating pong inuuli sa ating mga kababayan, the virus doesn't move. We move it. We stop moving, the virus dies. Kaya ang pakiusap po natin, manatili sa bahay para mapigil ang paglaganap ng virus at masagip ang maraming buhay. Maraming salamat po at magandang tanghali.
Thank you, General. Okay,
maraming salamat po, General.
Robbie, we're going into a gap, but when we come back, we will be joined by the MMDA sa Bong Nebria. Siya yung in charge nga dun sa EDSA, kung saan ngayon 5 minutes na mula Cubao hanggang Makati. So, just pause for a gap. Stay with us. Hi, sir.
Okay. Sir, achievement unlocked. Achievement unlocked. Kaya na ba 5 minutes?
Ito yung pagkakataon. Ito yung pagkakataon yung sabihin. Teka, sino mag-intro? Robbie ka ba? Ikaw mag-intro?
Kaya nakita ko na yung script. Kaya ko na.
Sige. O, ikaw intro ha. Colonel Bong, sa EDSA lang ho ba kayo? Di ba hindi lang naman kayo EDSA? O nakalimit na kayo sa EDSA kayo?
EDSA po.
Okay. O, sige. I was going to ask you sana about yung Metro Manila Council resolution pero hindi pala EDSA. Okay, CC.
Okay. Okay. Seeing the chat. 120. Okay.
Mhm.
Thirty seconds. Okay. 20. 10. Welcome back, the Chiefs. We are now joined in this conversation by Colonel Bong Nebrija of the MMDA. Colonel Nebrija, welcome to the Chiefs.
Hi, Robbie, and hi, Ed. Good
Hi, sir.
afternoon to all your televiewers.
Okay, si Colonel, as everybody knows, anybody who sees, who watches YouTube knows that si Colonel ang tanod natin sa traffic. Colonel, ano ba? Achievement unlock ba? Achievement unlock, 5 minutes na lang, Quezon City to Makati.
I wish I could really brag about that at all, pero talagang na-achieve lang natin yan because of the COVID-19. Unfortunate times, pero yun nga po, talaga napabilis natin yung dali ng trapiko because of that.
Yeah, but Colonel, ironically, we asked that in the context of baka hindi pa rin kaya because sa mga nakikita natin sa mga balita at saka sa mga social media posts, is it true? Is traffic back? Nagta-traffic ba ulit sa EDSA?
We see a significant volume of vehicles already back on EDSA. No? Not only on EDSA, but other major thoroughfares of Metro Manila. Pati nga yung mga secondary roads, minsan nagkakaroon na tayo ng build-up. We noticed this na yung mga natin, yung mga sa traffic lights natin before, nagkakaroon lang tayo siguro ng mga queuing dyan, mga 4 or 5 layers ng I mean 1 or 2 layers na sasakyan. But now, what we're seeing is that we're seeing more than that. Siguro nag-queuing tayo mga 4 hanggang 5, Talaga nagkakaroon tayo ng significant build-up, lalong-lalo sa mga stoplight. But generally, it's still okay. Ang nakakabahala lang dito, compared dun sa una nating linggo at pangalawang linggo ng enhanced community quarantine, hindi ganun karami, Actually, talagang mabibilang mo sa daliri ang dumadaan sa EDSA. But now, it's totally different. Makikita mo, nagkakaroon tayo ng konting build-up.
Colonel, can you give us an idea in terms of traffic volume? Nung nag-umpisa ang community quarantine at talagang stricto, bumaba to what percentage yung usual traffic volume natin? And now, a month later, ano yung traffic volume relative to a normal EDSA day?
Siguro, Robbie, nung first week at second week, nag-average tayo ng volume reduction up to 70%. Na nabawasan natin na 70% ang volume ng sasakyan, particularly dito sa EDSA. Yan yung mga first to second week ng quarantine natin. However, after that, nagkakaroon na tayo ng pakunti-kunting build-up. Nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga convergence. Unang-una sa mga marketplaces. Lalong-lalo na nung naibigay na natin itong mga ayuda sa mga kababayan natin, meron ng perang naibigay, nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga convergence sa marketplace. Yung mga pila rin sa mga bangko at sa mga remittance center, it's also very significant, Dahil yung, siguro, mga nagpapadala o kumukuha ng pera, we do not know. Pero it's still there. And also, definitely, sa mga grocery stores.
Sir, sundutin ko lang kasi sinabi nyo bumaba to 30% before, in the first weeks of PCQ. Ano yung porsyento ngayon?
So siguro nag-average tayo ngayon ng yung on the road, ang on the road natin ngayon is mga 50 to 60%.
50%, ay linawin ko, ay para lang because for most people, well, actually, apparently not most people, 50% of the people have no idea what EDSA looks like right now. Pero if you say ang volume ngayon is 50% of a typical EDSA day, you're basically telling me, imaginein mo yung typical EDSA traffic mo, yung volume
Opo.
ngayon sa EDSA is about 50% of that. Kasi kung sa napipicture ko, traffic pa rin yun
Yes. Basically, we have 5 lanes, ano? Imagine this, 5 lanes, di ba? So, ang movement ng hindi natin napupuno yung 5 lanes. Basically, mga 2 lanes spread out in the 5 lanes. Basically, ganun yung ang assessment namin. This is visual assessment, Robbie. So that's why yun yung nakikita namin on the road ngayon. Unlike before, no, talagang strictly walang lumalabas eh. Walang lumalabas within yung inter-LGU kung tawagin natin, yung intercity. Wala yan eh. Nako-confine yung mga tao natin sa mga localities lang eh. Barangay, sa LGU nila, doon sila nag-grocery, doon sila namamalengke. Eh ngayon, nakaisip na sila na mag-grocery sa iba't ibang LGU. Naghahanap sila. They're trying to hack, kung saan yung pinakamadaling mag-grocery, saan pinakamadaling mamalengke, saan madaling mag-parking, and so on. Kaya ngayon, yung mga tao, nakakalabas sila sa quarantine area nila sa barangay, yung nakasasakyan, they pass to yung mga nakita na nila yung mga roads na pwede nilang daanan, palabas ng EDSA, and siguro for the past 2 weeks, that's what they've been doing, and this gave us a red flag, and that also forced us to coordinate with PNP na pag-usapan na natin kung anong gagawin natin dito, contingency natin dito. Kasi the more that we will just let this go, baka yung bago tayo mag-transition sa new normal, we are already experiencing volume traffic, yung congestion ulit sa EDSA. So, sabi nga ni General Eliazar, Task Force Shield Commander, COVID Shield Commander natin, together with General Cruz of PNP HPG, o sige, magtalaga tayo ng mga mobile checkpoints. So that's what we started doing 2 days ago. Pinagpatuloy ito kahapon. And ngayon, we're trying to look at other major thoroughfares also kung saan pwedeng ilagay ito.
Kaya kasi I do EDSA. Medyo iba ng konti yung numbers ko, at least my estimates. Siguro when the quarantine started for me, nag-cut to mga 20% lang, maybe sometimes even 10% nga yung traffic sa EDSA in the first 2 weeks eh. But Sunday or Monday, umakit siya to maybe 30 to 40% na lang of the usual volume. Hindi naman 50%. My question to you is this now you guys have been cracking down in the last 2 days. What in your estimate has been the effect on on cutting back again the number of people going out into EDSA? Kung sa inyong tansya dati nag-50% nung simula ng linggong ito, kung kailan nagdagsaan ulit yung mga tao sa EDSA, ngayong Biyernes at kahapong Huwebes ay ilang porsyento na lang?
Well, again, Ed, maybe you're right on the percentages, but then again, kaya nga sinasabi namin visual assessment po, lalo nang sinimulan namin yung mobile checkpoints. Yung pagkakat, yung significance ng pag-mobile checkpoint namin nung araw na yon, later on to the day, nakikita namin na nabawasan, nabawasan din. Ngayon, patuloy pa rin naman yung mga checkpoints. However, yun nga, ang problema nito, randomly na nga lang na nagche-checkpoint ang HPG. Hindi na yung katulad ng unang araw na ginawa namin na talagang sinasala namin, lahat ng private, lahat ng mga frontliners naka-separate, saka yung mga cargo. Nung unang araw, nakakahuli kami ng mga 50. Nung second day, kahapon, nag-average pa rin ng 13 na huli in the whole day operation. I mean, so makikita natin na meron pa rin na nagsagawa na kami ng checkpoint. It's all over the news na sinasabi namin mga APOR lang ang pwedeng lumabas at dumaan ng EDSA. But then again, the next day, naka 30 apprehensions pa rin. And that will tell you yung yung it's either uninformed yung tao or they are just literally violating intentionally violating yung provisions ng ECQ.
Mhm.
Colonel, meron lang ako,
si,
curious lang
sige.
ako sa because you spoke of these incidents. But I'm just thinking of, I'm just curious as well, beyond yung matter of checkpoints and making sure of the quarantine. Ito, pagka lumalabas ako para mag-grocery, mamalengke, now that I think of it, parati na akong may makikitang incident. Either nagbanggaan na motorsiklo o sumemplang lang, maraming mga riders. I'm just curious, now that mas maluwag, you would think it's safer, but at the same time, mas mabilis din ang takbo ng mga tao ngayon. I'm just curious, public service question na rin to. Should people be more mindful of what kinds of incidents and accidents are taking place more and more? Because ako, personal experience ko, every time lalabas ako, kahit paano may makikita akong sumemplang, naggigita, nagbanggaan, and so on.
Yes. Yun din, Robbie, ngayon maluwag ang EDSA. Maraming, particularly motorcycle riders are taking advantage of this na yung hindi mo alam kung hindi, minsan private hindi mo alam ngayon kung nagpa-practice sila na mag-EDSA, kasi yung mga aksidente is yung mga self-accidents kung tawagin, na nalubak, nadulas, and so on, pero kahapon nakita kami, rear-ender pa rin, binugo ng motor yung isang van. So, ang luwag-luwag ng kalsada, hindi man lamang kayo mag-spacing, ba't kailangan nyo pang magdikit? Ngayon, pag huminto yung isa, nababangga pa nung nasa likod. No? So, these are the things. Meron pa rin kami nakikita. MC versus pick-up, MC versus van kanina, may MC versus truck. Most of the accidents na nakita namin dito, ang involved is motorcycle. So, something na meron kami kasi minsan nakikita na aksidente pag ni-rescue mo, maamoy mo na under the influence of liquor, So, talagang nakakalungkot minsan na yung nandito tayo in the middle of the pandemic and there are people who are still having time to do these things.
Kanel, si Asik Pielago, si Celine ng MMDA, was quoted as saying na yung mga naka-quarantine pass, hindi pwedeng dumaan ng EDSA, hindi pwedeng tumawid ng EDSA. I'm not sure exactly if she was quoted right there. What does this mean? Is this correct? And if it is, what's the limit? I mean, what's the regulation based on?
Yes, the quarantine pass that has been given to you, this is issued by the barangay. So basically, in one household, you are issued one quarantine pass. You designate one who can go out and do the errands for the family, for the household. So yun, he can use the quarantine pass to do necessary errands like grocery, palengke, pagbili ng tubig, gamot, or whatnot. Pero within the locality lang dapat. So wala nga tayong mass public transport. Siguro kung medyo malayo yung palengke, pwede kayo magdala ng sakya, pwede kayo magdala ng motor. But then again, this is only for you to go to inter-barangay. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng barangay may talipapa or may palengke. Hindi naman lahat ng barangay may grocery. So it will allow you to go out of your barangay to do these necessary errands. However, it doesn't allow you to go in parang city hopping or inter-LGU. The quarantine pass only allows you within the vicinity of your barangay kung saan ang pinakamalapit na grocery, saan ang pinakamalapit na palengke, saan ang pinakamalapit na butika, yun lang ang movement dapat. Ayun nga, sinasabi ko nga, yung iba naaabuso dahil akala nila, marami rin nag-present sa amin yan during the checkpoint na may quarantine pass ako. It doesn't, the quarantine pass only allows you to do the errands within your locality. What we're trying to look for is, are you part of the authorized person outside the residence? If you're not in the list na pwede ka, then you're violating the ECQ. Kaya tinitikitan, kinukumpis kayo yung lisensya.
Mm-hmm. Pero sir, pag kinumpis kayo yung lisensya, di kailangan tubusin yan, di ba magkukumpulan ulit yan? I know it does sound funny, pero in the end, wouldn't you be adding to number one, your to the amount of paperwork and bureaucracy that you will have to handle as an organization. And number two, wouldn't it also put at risk a greater number of people?
Ed, actually, ang ini-issue ticket is issued, the ticket is issued by the HPG, no? Hindi from MMDA.
Okay.
Ang sa amin yung violation ng physical distancing, 5,000 yon. So ngayon, yung sa
5,000 pala. Sakit pala siya.
Masakit yon. So kaya yung TOP, yung LTO ang ginagamit ng HPG. And then, yun nga, kung confiscate ng lisensya mo, tutubusin mo sa LTO. However, ang LTO sarado ngayon for the entire duration of the ECQ. So ngayon, pag na-confiscate ang lisensya mo, you need to wait for the LTO to open up. Kaya, kung itong ECQ natin ma-extend for another 2 weeks, for example lang, I'm saying, na pag after April 30, may extend pa tayo. So, until that time na may ECQ at saradong LTO, wala kang lisensya.
Yeah. Ay, Colonel, linawin ko lang para lang kung kailangan magparinig or kailangang malinaw kung sino yung ang sakit ng ulo natin ngayon. No? Limited pa rin ang transport. We're still trying to when it comes to mass transit, it's still all about essential workers. It's still all about frontliners. So when you talk about quarantine violators, particularly people going up and down EDSA, is that by definition private car users? I mean, taking away those who are certified, who are accredited, who are part of the supply chain, if you take away all of that, are we saying that the violators almost by definition are in fact private vehicle owners?
Yes. Most of them, yes. Those who were apprehended in the past 2 days were basically, we term it as city hopping, So because they're really finding the most convenient grocery to go to shop, and the most convenient marketplace where they could buy their basic needs. So that's the thing. They already forget that we're in a lockdown. We're supposed to be staying within the confines of our stay at home, then within the barangay sana, hindi ka dapat lalagpas ng LGU. But then again, we see that are being abused, yung with the quarantine pass that they were given.
Colonel, tapos give us a quick rundown na kung ano yung pinapayagan yung dumaan sa EDSA ngayon. Kasi nga, I was telling the same thing to General Elazar kanina. In a previous discussion we had with Debold Sinas, yung NCRPO chief, minsan nagkakaproblema sila dun sa tawagin natin gray area kasi medyo black and white naman yung issue ng essential personnel, diba? Health workers, cargo, BPO, media. Nasa listahan naman yan. Simple lang yan. Yung nagkakaproblema minsan na aminado si General Sinas na may problema sila doon. Yung gray area kung saan, for example, nagpapahatid yung doktor o yung nurse kasi hindi siya marunong magmaneho, kasi siya matanda, and so on down the line. And sabi ni General Sinas noon na ang problema namin minsan, anong gagawin mo? Hindi mo pwedeng pababayin yung doktor. Alam mo, maglakad siya papuntang ospital, di ba? And that person needs to go there. So, pinapadaan na lang namin, pero ngayon may utos yung Pangulo na maghigpit. So, hindi namin alam kung anong gagawin namin. So, there was that hanging question then. So, I'm not sure exactly whether that was resolved and if there is a quick and easy solution to that.
Well, actually, Ed, from the very beginning, first week pa lang ng quarantine, nagkaroon na talaga ng problema. Nakita rin namin yan. Yung mga hinuhuli naming motorsiklo na may backlight, halos karamihan ng naka-backlight dyan, mga health workers. So, ngayon, we brought this up to our bosses, and they brought this up also with IATF. So, we came up with the shuttle. Ang usapan dyan, LGUs will shuttle the health workers to the bus stops on the major thoroughfares, and we will bring them to the different hospitals, at the OTR led yan. Then we also came up with an app Sakay PH, so para dun makikita ng mga health workers. So we tried to resolve that problem para hindi na magkakaroon ng problema. Kasi tama ka, may nakikita kami. We are forced to bring down, we're forced to let the health worker go down and wait for the bus that will pick them up and drop them off to the nearest hospital where they work. So, but now that system is already working smoothly, and I think IATF will has already came out with the rapid pass.
Mm.
No, I think they started with the health workers na yung may QR code.
Mhm.
Yung may QR code na sila. So, i-read na lang yung QR code sa checkpoints, titignan if go or no go. No? So, however, pag health worker ka, QR code ka, ito na naman yung gray area na naman doon. Pag QR code ka, health worker ka, go ka nila. However, yung iba, out of their jurisdiction na. I mean, it's beyond their way from home to work and work to home. Ibig sabihin, iba-ibang lugar na rin sila napupunta, and they get a pass with the QR code. So ngayon, ang inaano nga is we're trying to enhance the system, so to speak, na parang gagawa na rin ng geofence yung QR code mo. Ibig sabihin,
okay.
ito yung travel mo from work to home to work. Ito lang yung yung naka-geofence ka. Pag you go beyond that, dahil nag-grocery ka sa ibang LGU or whatnot, pag checkpoint ka, tinignan yung QR code mo, it will X, no? Na hindi ka na authorized in those areas.
Okay,
Not unless you're
Colonel,
essential
another
that you
area
have
lang
to go
that...
out. Sige, go ahead, Bob.
Colonel, another area lang na I think people need clarification on, and if there are any guidance. And malaking sector to para sa ating lahat. Ako mismo, hindi naman ako magmamalinis. We've done it a few times already. Delivery services, whether it's for food or for items transferring from household to household, and so on. Ano po ba ang guidance dyan? Are we officially allowed to have things ordered, delivered, picked up by all of these app-based services?
So yung app-based delivery, pwede naman po, pinapayagan naman po yan, lalo na yung mga naka-motorcycle, yung mga cargo, definitely it's limited to food and medicines, and medical supplies, no. Pero yung mga yung
retail level, household level, yes.
Yeah. Yes, pwede po yan. Pinapayagan po natin yan. However, hindi ito po yung free pass, na pwede ka na lang dumaan dahil delivery ka. No, we check yung mga, lalong-lalo na po yung mga motorsiklo na nagdi-deliver, we check them. Kasi Robbie, one time na tiyempohan, may isang nagdi-deliver, nung pinabuksan sa kanya yung yung box niya. Hindi naman pala pagkain yung dinideliver, kundi mga alak, puno-puno yung box niya ng mga alak.
So, anong delivery yan, sir?
Hindi ko nasasabihin siya, pero nahuli ka. So, puro alak yung laman.
Hindi, research lang yun.
Then anyway, may isa na naman kami sa EDSA nung nag-checkpoint nung 2 days ago, chine-check din namin isa-isa. And we found out na yung isang delivery guy, yung motorcycle rider, nung tinignan namin yung app at saka yung ID niya, hindi naman siya yung tao doon sa ID. So, ibig sabihin, ipinapagamit po nung kung sino man yung legitimate franchisee noon, pinapagamit niya yung motor niya, maybe it's a franchise for lease, para hindi na ako magtatrabaho, ikaw na lang, sige, bigyan mo na lang ako ng boundary ko, parang ganon. So, hindi rin po pwede yun. So, that's why, itong mga red flags na to na nakikita namin sa mga checkpoints na to, we bring this up, we discuss this, and yun nga, we are being forced na inspekin natin lahat yan. Dahil mamaya, hindi na alak lang ang dinadala niya, kung ano-ano ng delivery dinadala niya.
So stricter inspections lang, sir. Wala namang restriction or limitation doon sa number, for example, of deliveries or the types. Hindi naman types. Pero it's more of stricter inspection of credentials as well as cargo.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay, at least that's clear. Sir, ano ba?
Okay.
Sige po.
I think, Ed, we need to take a break. Colonel Labrija, please stay right there. The chiefs will be right back.
Thank you.
Sorry, masyado maaga ba yung ano ko?
Sir Robbie? Sir Robbie?
Ah,
Balik po tayo ng around 1 minute. Gap po ulit ng 1:35. Wrap up na po natin si Colonel Debriha.
ano?
Balik po tayo in 1 minute. Out po tayo ulit ng 1:35. Wrap up na po natin si Colonel Debriha.
Ano ibig sabihin na wrap up na? Tapos na, mag-goodbye na tayo? No more time to interview him?
Next guest na po tayo. Next guest.
Ano?
Next guest na po tayo.
Teka muna, may time pa ako magtanong ng one more kay Colonel Nebria?
Meron pa po.
Sige, okay.
Sir Robbie, 1 minute.
Hmm. 20. Then, welcome back, the Chiefs. We're still with Colonel Bong Nebriha of the MMDA. Colonel Nebriha, in these days na naka-quarantine tayong lahat, sinasabi ko nga sa mga tao, libre pa rin naman mangarap at saka yun lang naman ang pwede natin gawin ng karamihan ng tao ngayon, mangarap at saka magplano. Now, speaking of hope and plans, looking forward naman po, people are starting to talk more and more overtly about lifting the ECQ, whether partially or in full. One of the hardest things for people to fathom is how can we bring back normalcy when yung transportation, tsaka mobility, and social distancing in those contexts is the hardest thing to imagine. From the MMDA perspective, what will a partial lifting or a rollout of the lifting of the ECQ look like, traffic-wise, mobility-wise?
Well, basically, it will be a new normal. It will not be as congested as before. We will still be observing physical distancing. And right now, actually, the DOTR is already planning on how to do that, especially the transportation. I've been hearing about bus rapid transit, the operation of LRT and MRT. They're already coming up with a contingency on how are we going to implement physical distancing, not only in the coaches itself, but also in the line. So all of these are already being talked upon, and they're having already meetings on this. However, on the final layout of all these plans, I really do not have if there's really any final plans yet on this.
Yeah, pero ano pong mga recommendations na napapag-usapan that you think make sense? Lalo-lalo na on, in the first 2 weeks or first 3 weeks of a partial ECQ, paano natin gagawin yan? Parang, yes, we want to get into a situation where kahit sa bus, kahit sa MRT, kahit sa jeepney, nagso-social distancing tayo. But again, on practical terms, what are some schemes that are being floated or being suggested that you think, that makes you think, baka pwede yun, baka pwede nating subukan yun?
Maybe the dispatching itself, Robbie, will be done by the government, just to make sure that this will be followed. This will not be a free for all the buses to pass through EDSA. The dispatching itself will be handled by I think the DOTR will be part of it, so that just to make sure that this will be on a need basis, and not like before that the buses are always full. So really we're in the planning phase, but again, the reality of it's still hard to imagine on how we're going to really do it, because this will depend on how many establishments will open eventually. Our other establishments will still remain on a work from home basis. Are we going to, how many establishments are we going to open? Are we allowing, for example, the malls, if they will open, are they going to shuttle their own employees? So all of this needs to be planned out holistically, and I just have the some bits and pieces of the plan that they're coming up with.
Okay, Colonel Bong Nebriha ng MMDA. Colonel, if you'd like to add any more last minute or parting messages to the public about especially the quarantine.
We do not need reminders anymore. We're almost a month with our quarantine, so everybody knows what to do already, and our own responsibility. Just that, as we all say, this is a bayanihan. We as one. All of us has its own responsibility, and we need to do our part of this so that we could go out of the ECQ and move on to the new normal. Anyway, Ed and Robbie, kindly give me a chance to salute all our frontliners, our health workers. Mabuhay po kayo.
Okay, maraming salamat, Colonel Bong Nebriha ng MMDA. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Robbie, we're going into a gap, and thank you, sir. And when we come back, Robbie, we will have with us Brother Edmundo Dodo Fernandez ng siya yung Pangulo ng De La Salle College of St. Benilde. So that when we come back. Stay with us.
That's right.
Hi, brother. Good morning ba? Afternoon na. Afternoon.
Good afternoon po.
Afternoon, brother.
Afternoon po.
Brother, I suppose you're in Benilde right now, or in La Salle?
Actually, I'm in La Salle Green Hills because I'm head of the two schools, La Salle Green Hills
Yes,
and
sir.
College of St. Benilde. So currently, I'm living in La Salle Green Hills, but I go to College of St. Benilde every now and then.
Yung in-adapt po ninyo is in both schools, di ba? Benilde, meron kayo eh. Pati sa Green Hills ba, meron kayo naka-adapt na mga ano?
Meron po. Yung sa Green Hills po is with Medical City, and College of St. Benilde is with
Ay, brother, I have to cut you. We're about to go in.
All right.
20 seconds po.
Apo.
Ah, 1 minute pala. sorry, 1 minute.
Okay lang po.
Forty seconds. Twenty seconds. Ten. And welcome back to the Cheese. We are now in the final stage of our conversation for today's episode. We are now joined by Brother Edmundo Dodo Fernandez. Hi, brother. Sorry, almost called you father. Brother Edmundo Dodo Fernandez, the president of De La Salle College of St. Benilde. The school, along with the other La Salle schools, have opened their doors to those in need because of the pandemic, in addition to various efforts to provide assistance to frontliners. Good afternoon, Brother Dodo. Is that
Good afternoon
correct,
po,
brother?
Mr. Lingao and Robbie. Gandang hapon.
Good afternoon po. Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us po. Brother, tell us about what both De La Salle and Benil are doing with COVID-19.
That's right. Actually, we opened our campus first to the homeless in College of St. Benil and De La Salle University. When the lockdown started, yung mga homeless pinapauwi ng mga pulis. Eh, homeless nga sila, so wala silang mauuwian.
Oo nga naman.
So, in partnership with the SVDs and with the Jesuits, we decided to house them in both campus, De La Salle University and in College of St. Benil. The request to house healthcare workers came after, no? Maybe about 2 weeks after. First, in fact, was Medical City who asked LaSalle Green Hills if we could house some of their healthcare workers. So we did agree to that. And then about a week or two after that, PGH wrote us and asked if we could house some of their healthcare workers. Actually, hindi sila yung exposed. The ones that we house are the ones who work in the offices.
Oh, brother,
At the back.
are you still there?
So they're the ones supporting the frontliner.
Parang back end sila.
Opo.
Brother Robbie Alapay here. I'm just curious. Ilan na po ang nasa shelter nyo? Just on the homeless. Wag na po muna natin i-count yung mga hospital personnel. Just the homeless from how many municipalities?
Yung homeless po, we have about 70. We started with 70.
7-0.
7-0 po. This is only in College of St. Benil, no? So De La Salle, we also have about 60 up. But lately, when I went to visit, the one in charge there told me that a few of them went home. So parang we're down to about 63 in College of St. Benil for the homeless.
Okay. So yung iba po dito, yung ibang homeless there are those who are literally homeless, literally nakatira sa kalye, and then there are those who are what? Transients who were caught on the wrong side of town nung nag-lockdown, ganyan?
Actually, we're not sure, but in our understanding, they really literally are homeless people. They don't have homes. So when I asked the charge in St. Benil, saan sila umuwi, yung umalis? They don't know. No? So I suppose they do have some homes to go home to, but they probably just decided not to live at home. Yeah, they're well provided for.
Are some of these homeless entire families o isa-isa to mga to?
Yan po. Right now, what you're seeing, yan, that's the one we're housing. Some of them are siblings, some of them mag-ama, mag-ina. So yun po. But I don't know if we have entire families living with us. I think we do. Yeah.
And they come just from around San Juan and Manila. I mean, which are you serving more than how many cities are you serving?
Robbie, they're mostly from Manila area. They're really they're really being cared for by the SVDs, the Word Missionary. It was the SVDs who came to us and asked if we could open our campuses. So this is really in partnership with them. Plus the Jesuits, because the Jesuits are sort of helping us fund the program.
And are the SVDs able to fund it completely? I mean, this is why we want to highlight this. Do you need help? Are there resources that you need?
Actually, at the moment, the SVDs are the ones providing the food. No, they have been providing food for the homeless apparently before all of this happened. So now they just continue to provide food for them in our place. But yes, we do accept. Goodwill has been very good. People have been donating. So it's been been good.
Father, brother, how did you or was it the SVD who did this? How did they collect these people from the streets, or did they just walk in or went to the SVD
to
be brought to your
place? Parang apostolate ng SVDs yan eh. So when the police started to ask them to go away, so they went to the SVDs, no? So it was shepherd, basically shepherd sila papunta sa amin. Yeah.
Curious nga naman
Now-
yan, they're told to go home tapos silang mauwi yan.
Oh, exactly. So, in fact, the number that we have is the same. Well, now it's down to 63, but we don't accept we don't accept walk-ins for their safety, because they've been there for already a month, so they've been safe. Obviously, they're free of COVID. So we try not to accept people who come in, the transients, those who knock at our door. Yeah.
I see, but you mean you specifically refer to tranches. So this is not walk-in homeless people.
No. Those we got from the very beginning are the same that are still there.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just curious kasi nabanggit nyo nga po, these are people who are not necessarily or who were not necessarily invisible to society, certainly not invisible to the SVD. These are people already being served by existing apostolates and missions by the brothers. But I'm just curious, now that they're here in the context of COVID, it also does provide, even in a limited sense, an instant census of an instant sampling of homelessness in this case in Manila. I'm just wondering if there are any surprises, notwithstanding the existing apostolates. Were there any surprise insights on the number and the prevalence and incidence of homelessness in Manila?
Actually, as you mentioned, these people are not very visible. They're just, if you drive around Manila or in any part of the metropolis, you'll see them in different parts. It's just that we rounded them out and are helping them and are housing them. Kaya biglang mukhang ang dami-dami nila. But I'm not surprised at the number. Saints Co is also housing as well as a number of other schools in the area. So hindi lang DLSU and CSB.
Yeah, but just to complete that, Bok, given what you know of all the other shelters and all the other missions that are ongoing, even prior to COVID, do we have in fact an idea of what that number is? That number of people living in the streets, kahit sa Manila lang?
Actually, personally, I would have no idea as to the actual number. But that's a good question. But yeah, I won't be able to answer you there.
But brother, let me also bring up another question that I'm not sure if this has already been brought up before with you. But what also happens after the quarantine ends? Diba? You have the homeless with you. It might become a touchy issue of sorts.
Actually, you are correct. We're currently discussing that right now. No, what we are going to do once the quarantine is opened up, the lockdown is finished, how we will continue to help them. So yeah, but currently that's being discussed. And you're right, it might be a touchy issue.
Well, brother, let's talk about the... Sige po, go ahead.
Mahirap nga naman, di ba? Pag tapos sa lockdown, di mo naman pwedeng paalisin, di ba?
Ayun nga po.
So, yeah, we'll, for sure we will look after them and we will still take care of them the best way we can.
Let's talk about the health workers that you've adopted from Medical City as well as from PGH. How did this come about?
Actually, it started with the Medical City. We got feelers from some of their doctors or alumni. And we were saying, well, maybe we can make it official. Can your administration write? So the president of Medical City did write us. And then from there, we had a conversation. What we have with us here in the Saguinis is about 120 full 24 hours, 3 shifts. So we feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have snacks. So yeah, sa PGH, they also came. They also sent us feelers in the beginning, but we said, we need to make it official. So their administration wrote us, and then that's when we started the negotiations with them.
So, brother, we're looking at these pictures from your different buildings. Maybe just give us an idea and some details. which buildings are we looking at? What facilities are these that easily, logically, conveniently lend itself to this service?
Okay, I'll start with College of St. Benil. The pictures that you were seeing, they're rooms in our Taft building. Part of the consideration is that it's not centralized air conditioning, so therefore we can open the air condition per room. To look at spaces where we can allocate for them to sort of walk around and exercise, and also an easy access from the street. It's the same here in LaSalle Green Hills. We had to look for a place where the building did not have centralized air conditioning, so we can open the air conditioners in the rooms. That was really a consideration. Otherwise, we would have it would have taken a lot of energy from us, electricity. So.
Mhm.
And what are the
talk to us about
protocols
safety
that
naman.
you had to? Sorry, Bok. What are some protocols that you had to take care of prior to opening up, and what will be the protocols for winding down when that time comes?
Thank you, Robbie. We discussed that. That was part of our. Because we're a school, we were afraid that in the beginning they would bring us the ones that were exposed. But Medical City has been very, very good. They've been very considerate. They knew we are a school and that we will eventually open. So they gave us those that are totally not exposed. We have a disinfection booth. So when they come in, they're disinfected. And then they brought their own housekeeping. They brought their own security. So pag alis ng shift, dililinis yung room, dinidisinfect for the new shift. And then when they get out of campus, disinfect din uli sila. The same with College of St. Benilde, PGH, as well as Medical City, provide the transportation. They're brought to our campuses. And then, so when they get down, they're also disinfected. And then, yung sa College of St. Benilde, one shift lang yun eh. That's the 8 to 5 p.m. shift. So they come about 6 in the evening. So during the day, there's no one there. So we disinfect during the day for them for their return in the evening.
Oh,
They also-
brother, yes. Sige, you want to say something, brother? Go ahead.
Also, both hospitals promise that once they're done with the project, that they totally disinfect the whole building. Yeah. So, and they've been very good with that.
Brother, I'm afraid I didn't catch yung kanina sinabi niyo about what kind of workers coming from Medical City and PGH are you housing? Did I get it right? Na these are basically people who are working in these hospitals, pero hindi naman sila yung nandun sa critical or yung delikadong areas.
Opo. Actually, the hospitals themselves, both Medical City and PGH, keep in their own premises the frontliners. And what they bring to us are those who are the backliners, those who are supporting the
Backliners.
Yes. In the offices, mga secretaries, so clerks. Yeah.
It's also a safety protocol, I suppose, no?
Yes, it is. They've been very good with us. In the beginning, we thought that they will just bring them here and leave them to us, but it's been a partnership, both Philippine General Hospital as well as Medical City. So it's been very good.
Okay, and it's also good that you're working with Ateneo. I mean, sorry, I had to sneak this in.
Nothing brings everybody together. But nice, no? So nice that people work together in this atmosphere in this very challenging time.
Brother, I mean, I just had a practical question because you are in charge of these schools. In the meantime, the academic year, what happens? I mean, and what's the at least from the side of LaSalle and Benilde, what do you see on the academic year moving forward?
Very good. That's a very good question, Robbie. For LaSalle Green Hills, we finished the school year. So we're kind of tying up loose ends. For College of St. Benilde, we're in the middle actually of our second term. So we've had to come up with ways of keeping our students engaged. It's been very difficult having online classes, but what we did, at least for College of St. Benilde, was we gave them end of term requirements and we left it up to them. So, so some teachers still do online, some don't, but there are requirements they need to submit until the end of the term, which is in May 5. Looking ahead, Roy, what we hear from the grapevine is that classes will not be open, well, face-to-face classes will not be open until September at the earliest. Of course, this is rumor. And maybe at the latest January. So what we're trying to do is prepare ourselves for a full online program.
Wow. Okay. I mean, do a full online program. I'm just intrigued. Obviously, people have gotten more practice now in using all of these different platforms. Everybody's sort of forced and pushed into this. Let's finally jump into this. But what are some not good, productive, but also some hard realities that we are now realizing? What are some quick early learnings about trying to teach online, both the advantages and the realities and disadvantages and limitations of it?
That's a very good question. We do online, actually. Most schools now do online. For example, when classes are suspended, or for example, during the Southeast Asian Games, when we suspended classes for a week. But we've never had the reality of only online classes. Part of the difficulty there, Robbie, is connectivity. Many, a number of the students don't have reliable connection. So so that's one. The good thing about
we have to say that you're speaking for LaSalle. I mean, there is something ironic at the same time, a very hard reality to realize this, when even LaSalle will acknowledge that even its students don't have universal access to the internet.
Exactly. Can you imagine how the public schools will be? Where we have a lot of students who will have difficulty accessing. Although I must say, I've been talking with some of our administrators. We can actually even use Facebook. We can use Twitter. These are applications that are commonly used by most people. So it doesn't have to be exclusively using educational apps. So we have to be creative as we try to educate our students in this very, very difficult time. Yeah.
How about, but that's infrastructure. How about the interaction between the teacher and the students with each other? How does that change with going online fully?
Okay, there are apps that allow students to come together, parang Zoom meeting. There are apps, but what's happening, because we've been trying to do some research now with what the US is doing, what Singapore is doing. It's actually a blend of several applications. So the teacher can actually go face-to-face, video with the students, and then he can. So it's really a whole new way of educating our students, of trying to be creative, keeping them interested, keeping their attention, at the same time allowing them a lot of free time to do their work at home. So yun po.
But isn't there any a bigger challenge of keeping students from tuning out or going while attending their classes online? They're also doing something else, like going on Facebook or browsing the internet or playing e-games.
For sure, Ed, that's going to be a challenge for sure. So yeah, we'll have to be very creative with the way we do online. So.
And then again, we don't have much choice, not at this point.
Exactly. Actually, what we also see as the pandemic slows down, or as we find a vaccine, it will be a slow moving back into class, a slow moving back into face-to-face engagement with students. So it at a certain point blended, meaning there will be face-to-face here, and then there will be days that will be back at home, no, online. But for sure, this in the near future, June, July, August, it's probably all online.
Okay, hey, brother, I think you've already, we were running out of time, but I think you've already touched on some points to this final question. Everybody start trying to look forward to a lifting of the ECQ. What is the education sector contributing by way of recommendations or even questions prior to any mode of a lifting of ECQ?
I will answer you this way, Robbie. As you know, schools is very students are in close contact. Classrooms are packed. So as long as it's not safe, and we will take a cue from government when they say it's safe, it will be very difficult for our classes. I think that's what we will tell the authorities and government if they ask us. I think what's important, it takes one transmission in a school to just create a very, very difficult situation. So we have to be very careful. If they open up, we will have to have very, very strict health and safety protocols.
Okay. Brother Dodo Fernandez, the president of De La Salle College of St. Benilde. Brother Dodo, thank you for joining us today.
Maraming salamat po.
It was a pleasure having you today. Maraming salamat po. At ingat po kayo parati.
Thank you.
And that will be all for this special edition of The Cheese. We hope what was discussed here will keep the conversation going. I'm Edwin Gao of News 5.
I'm Robbie Alampay, and we are One News.